It's Saturday, October 3rd, and let's take a look at our contestants for the quarterfinals of Fat Bear Week 2020. In the top bracket, we have number 32, Chunk. Let's take a look at him. Chunk is a large adult male with narrowly set eyes and a prominent brow ridge. Even at his leanest, Chunk carries substantial fat reserves, especially in his hindquarters. In early summer, he tends to shed much of the fur around his shoulders and neck. This gives him a two-toned appearance and exposes numerous scars and wounds. By late summer, his newly grown fur is dark brown. Life history, let's take a look at Chunk here. He was first identified in 2007 as an independent and chunky-looking 2.5-year-old bear. Since then, he's grown to become one of the largest adults at Brooks River. He was estimated to weigh more than 1,100 pounds in September 2019. Due to his size and strength, Chunk now occupies the top tier of the bear hierarchy. This allows him greater access to mating opportunities and fishing spots. Like most large bears, Chunk is not hesitant to displace others from the resources he wants. However, his behavior can also be enigmatic. In recent years, he's shown a tendency to wait patiently to scavenge leftover salmon and even will play with other bears. These are two uncommon behaviors for a dominant bear to display, so due to his size and strength, 32 Chunk is poised to take advantage of opportunities not available to most other bears. Yet it is only by observing his full range of behaviors that we can get a true sense of his individuality. He will be going up against number 435, Holly. Holly is a medium-large adult female. In early summer, she's seen with blonde ears, blonde fur, and pale tan-colored claws. By early autumn, she is usually very fat with grizzled blonde fur. Her appearance at that time somewhat resembles the shape and color of a toasted marshmallow. When she was first identified in 2001, Holly was just maturing into an adult. Since then, she's reared several litters of cubs, and in the process has become one of the more experienced and tolerant mother bears at Brooks River. Her maternal experiences haven't been without hardship, though. When Holly and her single yearling arrived in 2007, the yearling had a pronounced limp. Despite the difficulties that accompanied her yearling's injury, Holly was able to successfully care for him. The yearling's injury healed by the end of the summer, and he was weaned the following spring. This bear is now known as 89 Backpack and still uses Brooks River. In 2014, Holly adopted a lone yearling cub into her family. She cared for and raised this bear alongside her biological cub, weaning them both in the spring of 2016, and each bear is now a young adult. In 2020, Holly returned with a single spring cub that represents her 5th known litter. Holly's cubs have challenged her maternal skills in different ways, and she has demonstrated the ability to adapt to their needs. You may remember Holly as the 2019 Fat Bear Week champion, but she will face a struggle here against Chunk. Meanwhile, moving on down to the bottom bracket, we have number 128, Grazer. Grazer is a large adult female with blonde fur, a long, straight muzzle, and conspicuously large blonde ears. During late summer and fall, her fur is grizzled brown, and she's often one of the fattest bears to utilize Brooks River. Grazer was introduced to Brooks River as a young cub in 2005. Since then, she's become one of Bearcam's most recognizable bears. She can fish successfully in many locations, but in early summer, she prefers the lip of Brooks Falls, where she is an especially skilled angler. In early fall, though, Grazer is more cryptic and most often chooses to fish in areas of the river away from the bear cams. Grazer is one of the most defensive mother bears at Brooks River. She is often preemptively confronting and attacking much larger bears, including some of the river's most dominant adult males, just in order to make sure her cubs are safe. Her defensiveness is risky, but provides her with access to areas of Brooks Fall that many other mother bears won't approach. During 2020, she's raising 2 spring cubs who benefit from their mother's boldness in the face of danger and competition. Grazer will be facing off against 909. 909 is a young cub, young adult female. 909 is a young female with grizzled brown fur. Her blonde and triangularly shaped ears are prominent and wide set. 909 was first identified as an independent 2-year-old bear in 2018. She is tolerant and playful of other bears, and she shares many behaviors with her mother and former Fat Bear Week champion 409 Beadnose. After separating from their mother in the spring of 2018, 909 and her sibling 910 were hesitant to enter the falls area. Without mother's protection, 909 recognized her vulnerability and low rank in the hierarchy. More recently, though, she often fishes the lip of the falls during the peak of the salmon run. To fish falls in early summer, 909 had to find a niche and overcome her fear of other bears. She watched her mother fish there and has since found that it offers a place for her to catch many salmon without facing as much competition for space from the other bears. As she continues to grow and gain skill, 909 seems well positioned to use the lessons she learned with her mother to survive and eventually raise her own cubs at the river. Those are your contestants for today's voting, Saturday, October 3rd, a Fat Bear Week. Go and get your votes in, and we will be back with you tomorrow to look at who is moving on to the semifinal round.